Hi, my name is Kenzie. Today I'll be talking with you about 8 effective teaching strategies. Let me just start you off by saying that there are no magic words or shortcuts to be taken. It's a very long process and takes a lot of dedication. This presentation will only briefly cover these 8 strategies, and then I'll share with you my personal inspiration for wanting to become an educator. Let's get started. The first one is connect. We need to connect to our students, establish a genuine relationship. We can do this in the first 5 minutes of class. This is referred to as the first 5 minutes, or FFM for short. We can ask our students how their day went. What are they doing this weekend? What hobbies do you have? Generally, anything about your student. It doesn't have to be education based. We want to learn about them as a person. We can attend their extracurricular activities. This is hard to do, especially because we may not have a lot of time, but it's impactful because a lot of their family members aren't able to make it. So having you support them outside of the classroom is very important to them. We can also make ourselves available to our students, solely focus on them when we're with them, set up office hours where they can come and get the one-on-one instruction they need, or offer them appointments by email so that you have this time slot separated just for them so you can focus on them specifically, not other work that actually needs to be done. We also need to make sure we're striving to make a difference. We don't come to work because we have to. We come to work because we want to and because we love our students. Make sure we stay positive. Young students are very intuitive, and sometimes teachers have to wear hats or a mask, if you will. It's inevitable that we might have an off day, but we can't let it get us down. And even if we're in a funk, we owe it to our children to give them the best education we can, regardless of our personal mood. Best thing is, leave it at the door, come in, teach your students, be enthusiastic. They'll make your day better if you come in with that attitude. Maybe if the class made you frustrated, explain to them what happened, why you're frustrated. This can open up effective communication flow, and then it'll create a more safe environment where they feel like they can actually talk to you about what's going on. Just remember, happy teacher, happy classroom. All right, embrace their knowledge and they'll embrace their learning. Don't be afraid of their knowledge. A lot of times we learn from our students. Some teachers don't like to admit that, but in the end, it's true. Remember, happy teacher, happy classroom, it's good. Let's also be enthusiastic about education. We became teachers for a reason. It's because we love education, we love the students. The word enthusiasm is generally used in instruction to connotate a motivating, energetic, passionate, and dynamic teaching style. Let's toss this in there, spice up our education just a little bit. Our students will be so much more engaged if we show that we actually care about what we're saying. Be flexible. Effective teachers are flexible. The best thought out lesson plans don't always work. Something may happen. You may have an off day. Students may have an off day. But it's okay to stop a lesson because it's just gone haywire. Okay, we can redirect as a group. Teachers can get back on task, refocus. Everything will be good. Just know that it's okay and it's going to be okay. Right? It's not always going to go smoothly, and it's not always going to go terrible either. But we have to have the ability to be flexible in our teaching and understand there are different teaching styles and there are different learning styles, and we have to adapt to all of it. Okay, we have to change everything. We can't teach the same thing over and over again in the same way because eventually we're going to get bored, we're going to lose our enthusiasm, and our students aren't going to be engaged. Being organized. This is tough for most of us, but hopefully, if we can stay organized, our students will be able to stay organized. And then in the end, it'll be an awesome classroom. Happy teacher, happy students, happy classroom. But hopefully, we'll have more time to do things. We can grade more tests. We can grade the homework that we don't take home at night because we're so organized. We can do our lesson plans. We can clean our classroom. We can give more one-on-one time to students. The possibilities really are endless, but we have to stay on top of it and we have to be that example for our students. We owe them that. Also, let's keep our classrooms not necessarily simple, but don't be over visually stimulating to your students. Learning information on the wall, fun classroom, absolutely, but they shouldn't be distracted by looking at the wall. Okay, there needs to be a safe, environment for them to learn in, where they're not going to be off task all the time. Purposeful leadership and principal involvement. It is so important that our principals care about what we're teaching and the standards. Without their direction, education tends to get a little weebly wobbly. We need them to set the pace, okay? They're the educational leader of our campus. They set the tone in which learning is created and takes place. In successful schools, collaboration does take place between teachers and the principal. They should acknowledge that collaboration is worthwhile and it can work. However, if a school's leaders do not put in a great deal of planning, work, and trust, it won't work. But creating this environment where everyone has a say, everyone feels like they have a say, that's a great environment to be in. Right? We also need to be able to reflect on our own work. If something didn't work, let's find out why. If something went great, let's find out why. This is so important to the teaching process, and it gives us a minute to really find out more about our teaching strategies and even learning strategies of our students. Students always come first. Leila Christenberry has been an educator for 35 years and written numerous papers on effective teaching. She said it best when she said, good teaching comes not from following a recipe, but from consistently putting students first. Let's ensure that we're actually available to our students. Don't patronize or mock under any circumstances, and be a good role model. All right, and all these tips work together to create a happy classroom. The students feel more engaged, the teachers feel more focused. We have somewhat of an outline to base, I guess, what an effective teacher should be. This will help your students understand that you're actually trying to teach them, and help the teacher understand that you're actually trying to teach your students because you love them. My personal inspiration comes from my elementary years. I pretty much grew up in the school because my brother was much older than I was, so I had genuine relationships with my teachers before I was actually in their classes. This, I don't know, created this dynamic where they would teach me and I would learn, and I loved it because we already had a relationship. So I feel like creating this relationship with my future students will also give them that inspiration that they need. And today I shared with you the 8 strategies for becoming a more effective educator. I've also shared my personal inspiration for becoming a teacher. The most cliche and possibly the best advice ever given is do what you love and love what you do. Teaching is a difficult profession, and it's very mentally and emotionally demanding. But always strive to be the inspiration to your students, and don't ever lose sight of your love for and passion for education. Thank you.